2024 was, for lack of a better word, a steaming pile of garbage in the fragrance world. There really was not a whole lot of stuff. I think it was kind of characterized by a lot of fragrance companies that had no idea what they wanted to do, had no inspiration whatsoever, and just released parfums or intense versions. One example is Ricard released an intense version, and that fragrance been around forever. So I thought I'd make a video, talk about in 2024 what are the go-to fragrances. Bijon for men, almost 100 notes in here. Absolutely not for 2024. It smells like an old lady's garment bag that has been left in an airplane for too long. It's dated. L'Homme, by Saint Laurent, one of the best scent profiles, does not last at all. It barely lasts the distance from this bottle to your wrist. 2024? No. In this day and age, you have clones, incredible clones that project, have performance. And you have a couple of really good releases over the past 5 years. And then you also have a lot of those releases, as well as releases that used to be very expensive, that are now very affordable. So we're going to go over, I think, 12 here. 12 fragrances that every man should have in 2024 based on these principles: affordability, applicability, and awesomeness, quite frankly. So let's just start. So Hunter by Armaf. Armaf, one of the best cologne houses out there. Wonderful cologne house, Middle Eastern cologne house. This is not a cologne of anything. This is my guilty pleasure fragrance because it smells kind of like a perfume. Super aromatic and fruity off the top note. And as it sits, it gets sweeter and sweeter. It's definitely unisex, but the reason why it's on here is because it performs so well. It has wonderful sweet notes, and it's like $20. This is the fourth one, or rather the first one, but there's four, with Hunter Killer being, I think, the best, but also Hunter Jungle being the worst, which just came out. So the original Armaf Hunter. There's no reason not to pick it up. $20 buy, and that's something that we're going to address too, is kind of the order in which, because some of these are more expensive than others. Next, Replica's Jazz Club. This is an interesting pick for me because replicas were always out of my price range, over $100, and they never wowed me enough to really get my attention. And now you can find these on discounters and testers for $70, and to me they're worth that all day. Jazz Club, a little bit of tobacco smokiness in there, kind of like a martini, mixed drink sweetness, syrupiness. It's dense. It is dense, and it stings the nostrils. It's boozy. But it's playful, and it's really good. And this is your spring summer fragrance. 2 replicas. There's only 2 replicas that I recommend, and it's this one, as well as By the Fireplace. Awesome. Love it. If you are near a Sephora, they have them there for you to go try out. Autumn Leaves is probably my 3rd favorite, but I never liked it enough to actually buy it. And after that, I think they just go down from there. So, in my opinion. Next, Bidet Al Oud, Honor and Glory. I've featured this a few times. The bottles are really unique. They're like a real plastic in front of it. This is a one and done showstopper kind of fragrance. The opening note is pineapple brulee, and don't overspray this, please. Don't overspray this. You will send people into anaphylactic shock. It lasts all day. It's super sweet. If any of you like dessert fragrances or pineapple scents, get this. It's really good. The reason why it's on this video is it's going up. It's going up. It's going up. It's going up. In a world where all of these Lattafa fragrances are going up a little bit, but not huge. This guy has almost doubled in price. So I definitely say pick it up before it just keeps going. Next we have ESL's Myself, the 2020 release. 2023 release. This is a beautiful arrangement of fruitiness, bergamot right off the bat, citrus, hardcore citrus, settles down to be a little bit more musky, woodsy, masculine. This is one of the fragrances I credit with getting me back into fragrances. I fell in love with this guy. It's also disappointing. It's not complex. It will last 3 or 4 hours, but that's about it. And it's $160. But to this day, the best YSL cologne in the past few years. So if you're looking for a designer brand and you like ESLs, go check out Myself. Good and bad. It's pluses and minuses. Speaking of designers, we have Azzurro's The Most Wanted, Eau de Parfum, Intense. Like I said, this is a time frame where instead of being original, we repackage the same stuff, slap an Intense label on it, and send it back out. I've heard so many things on The Most Wanted. I will say, this is not a lady killer. I've never gotten a single compliment from women. I've tried to sneak this in when I've been asking opinions from women. They've never bite on this at all. I've heard some people say this is only meant for a certain type of individual. I don't believe that. I think it is a perfect sensual date night fragrance. I think it has just a ton of deep, complex notes. I think that while it is sweet in the opener, it has some complex, dark bass notes that lend itself well to a professional setting as well, but definitely that night on the town. Get this on sale for $70 or $80, and I just really like it. Azzurro's The Most Wanted, Intense, and this is the Eau de Parfum. I don't like the Parfum version of this. It's weird. The Most Wanted, they have these, I don't know, they're different enough. They're different enough that even though it's the same brand, same name, there's such a difference between each one that can totally turn me off. Next one, Versace's The Dreamer. This one makes good noises, I think. Let's see. Yeah. So, the reason why this is here as well as Versace's blue jeans is Versace, for some reason and at some point in time, they decided to stop being ridiculous with their prices. And while Versace is $200, $300, just for a hat, for some reason their fragrances have become affordable. The Dreamer is a weird, airy, super light, super weird opening note that reminds me of gray flannel, which is disgusting, but it settles down just to be kind of a bit of a cloud, a little bit of textiles, fabrics in there. Floral notes, lots and lots of floral notes, just an interesting fragrance, $35. It is unique enough to where you'll never find the same one. And then Versace's Blue Jeans is subtle, almost too subtle. I like it. Some people say that it smells like bug spray. I don't see that. And then some people really don't like the Dreamer, so they're not niche, but they're a little polarizing. So if you have a chance to test them, but for a blind buy, I think Versace's Blue Jeans you could get for $20 and the Dreamer for $35. So that's why they're on here. There's just no reason not to get them. All right. Next. This is Halloween's my favorite designer. I'm doubling down on that. I'm sticking to it. This is their latest release, which is Halloween Mystery. Kind of that question mark that makes you wonder what the heck is actually in this. I know that's what I asked the first time that I tried it. Oh my gosh, did you see that? By far the best atomizer in the game. It literally shot it so far that I can't even smell it. It shot it to the other side of the room. So there's grapefruit. There's kind of like a ginger-esque. I don't know why I didn't like this. As it sits, you go into some sort of fruitiness, like herba pura's kind of red fruit, and then in the base, it's lots of earthy tones, patchouli, and woodsiness. It truly is one of those fragrances that literally hits every single element, like sweet, floral, woodsy, but a lot of notes that you just wouldn't see together. Now this is a little bit more expensive. I think it's coming in around 40 or 45, which for Halloween is pretty expensive, but a really good pick. And again, we have to go back to 2023 for this, just like a lot of these other ones. The Most Wanted Intense 2023, ESL's Myself 2023, Mystery 2023. I don't think Honor and Glory was 2023, but it could have been. I don't think it was, though. Let's go to a newer one that I think all agree needs to be in here. Lattafa's Fakar. Another great 2023 fragrance is ESL's Y Men Intense Eau de Parfum. And there's no reason to get it if you have Fakar. Fakar gets you 95% of the way. I've talked about it in so many videos. I'm not going to talk about it too much in this one, other than just this is 95% Y Men. It performs better. It projects better. It is like $22. Like literally, when you're talking about, oh, and I like that. When you're talking about how do I build my fragrance collection and how do I do it affordably, you get stuff like this. And I believe this might have been a 2023 release as well. So, really surprised. And here's the thing, y'all. I put off getting that for a long time because I'm like, I have Y Men. Why would I want it? Don't make my mistake. Clones of the fragrances sometimes smell better, perform better, and project better than the originals. That's one of them. Okay. Next. This is not a new fragrance. But for some reason, I had to put it on here. And it's Bentley from Men Intense. The reason why I put it on here is because I've been seeing this in so many other places. I don't know why, but it's kind of getting like a bit of a resurgence. I think people might have just thought that, hey, it's just another car fragrance, it's gonna be gone. This has been getting more and more popular throughout the years, and I say put it on here before Bentley figures out what's going on and starts charging 50 or 60 bucks for this. What is this? This is your, man, oh my gosh, like butterscotch mixed with new car smell. You have the leather and the suede mixing in with the sweet notes, booziness, luxury. Does not last the longest on me is my only complaint. But $35. Go get you that before they figure it out and it goes up to 60 or 70. That is the fragrance that you get if you are looking for a rich person cologne, if you're looking for a luxury cologne, if you're looking for a date night fragrance, if you're looking for a dessert fragrance. So good. Okay, got 3 more left. 3 more. And of course, this is not one that I am overly proud of, but I had to put it on here. I gotta be fair. Club de Nuit, and this is the Parfum version. I'll tell you why I put this on here, because if we're talking about colognes, and we're talking about 2024 being the year of the cologne, and colognes outperforming, outprojecting, just doing better as a whole than the fragrances they're trying to clone, you have to put Club de Nuit on here. You have to. This is Aventus, only on steroids. 1 spray of this is 17 sprays of Aventus, and Aventus is also much lighter. This is smokier and deeper than Aventus. I don't know which one I prefer, because honestly, I'm not a huge fan of either. But I think you get much more of an impression when you're on this, because, like I said, it's the difference between L'Homme. It's like wearing a Rolex underneath your long sleeve shirt. No one's gonna know it's there but you. I don't like that. Project, perform. This guy projects and performs. Opening notes, pineapple, smoke, and you have some spice in there as well. It sits well. It lasts forever. You probably either have it in your collection or you know about it. You heard me talk about it before, but if you don't have it, go get it, because again, it's going up. It just goes up. It gets more expensive, and I don't see that changing. I really don't. And I'll give you actually a perfect example of what happens when cologne manufacturers know that they have a good product. Next one. This is Al Haramain's Amber Oud Gold Edition. Amber Oud is, in my opinion, what happens when a cologne company wants to do things basically 100% similar, replica. A lot of these fragrances, when they clone them, they'll make them a little bit different because they want you to prefer their version over the others. Go and buy that one and not the original. But the Amber Oud line is pretty much just focused on 100% cloning, and this is a 100% clone almost of Herba Pura by Serchoff. Herba Pura is just like getting slapped in the face with non-discernible fruits. I'll tell you what it is. It is a German disco, German nightclub in a bottle. Yeah, it's just right off the bat, it smells like a candy. Like, it smells like just beautiful, like strawberry, red fruits, green fruits. They just call them fruits. I mean, if you literally look up the note profile on Herba Pura, it's just fruit. Like, you can't necessarily pick out, oh, that's a cherry, oh, that's this, oh. fruit. It is energetic. It's gets you going, and that's why Herba Purba is probably the top, like, clubbing, dancing fragrance, and it still has a lot of use for, let's say, going to the gym, date nights. Women seem to really enjoy Herba Purba, and bringing it back full circle, why I used Al Haramain as an example is the clones and the Amber Oud line are so good. Al Haramain knows that, and so they've hiked up the prices so much that the clones are almost as much per ounce as the actual fragrance. So let that be a bit of a warning. You know, these colognes that are just so good, like Hunter or Hunter Killer or Club de Nuit or Fakar, they're just so freaking good. The supply is there, the demand is there, and so the companies are going to lower the supply, raise the demand, and get more money. So definitely go check those out. The last one that we have is not a clone. It is a company that, Middle Eastern fragrance company that doesn't clone. Actually, yes, they do. I take that back. They do clone. But this guy is at least original enough that I can say that it's kind of in a realm of its own, in a good way. And it's Rasasi hawas. I believe that I'm going to make a video soon about fragrances I was wrong about. First impression kind of thing, like first impressions I was wrong about. Both good and bad. I want to talk about fragrances I liked that later on underperformed or that I didn't, grew to dislike. And on the other side, fragrances that I didn't like that I grew to enjoy. This would be probably number one of fragrances I did not like and grew to enjoy. This is a dang good blues fragrance. Blues fragrances are usually very weak. They are generic, stereotypical, bergamot, cedar, musk. Not this guy. Right off the top, you're getting a huge pepper kick. You're getting aromatics and sweetness. You are getting hit with citrus, but you're not drowning in it. It's somehow manages to put complexity in a blues fragrance, which I thought was impossible. It has deeper notes, but more than anything, it performs and it projects. Rasasi hawas, I was able to get it for free, ordering a bunch of stuff off of Fragrance Buy, and because I didn't want to pay $55 for a Middle Eastern fragrance back then, and I take it back. I would pay that for this. I haven't used a whole heck of a lot, but you know me. I have all these fragrances. I might not use the same fragrance more than once in a 2 or 3 month period. So if I do have a bottle that has any juice missing, it means I liked it. One big question that I have is, okay, you gave us these fragrances. Which ones? Like, obviously, I like all of these, which is why I have them here on the list. But if I was ordering and I only have so much money, obviously we only have so much money, which would you recommend first? Always, without fail, I'm going to tell you, Halloween, go buy Halloween. Whether you already have the man and you're trying to get other Halloweens, go with that. Incredible. Mystery, it's a really good fragrance. Always recommend them over any clone house, because clones, I really prefer smelling unique, not smelling like everyone else. And that's the biggest problem with the clones, is that it's a clone, so now you have at least double the amount of fragrances that smell like that because you have the original and the clone. But the only reason why an individual would clone a fragrance is if it was already popular. As you can see here, these are not super niche fragrances. I don't like super niche usually. They're beyond my palate. But Halloween is unique. The first one, Halloween Man, they say borrowed heavily from Paco Rabanne's. Maybe. Other than that, most of them are pretty unique. So, number one, I'd say Halloween's. That includes this one here. Number two, I would recommend, depending on your budget, if you have a bigger budget, then I would definitely recommend going with something like Rasasi hawas or the Replica. But if your budget is below that $30 or around that $30, then I would say definitely pick up Fakar. Definitely pick up Fakar. And I know I just said that about the clones. I know that. But when you're talking about bang for your buck, there is no better bang for your buck than something like Fakar. And then, if I had to give you a number three, man, I would say you got Halloween, which is fruity, spring, summer. You got Fakar, fall. Let's go with something a little bit more complex. I would say to go with Honor and Glory or the Bentley Intense, because you need a signature scent, you need a day scent, you need an office scent, and you need a date scent. You need all of those. Change it up, right? So, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is, in my opinion, fragrances that every fella needs in their 2024 lineup. Like I said, 2024 sucked for fragrances. You got a lot of intense versions, a lot of parfums, nothing new, hardly nothing new. And the stuff that was new was niche. The only stuff that wasn't niche sucked. Tom Ford's Vanilla Sex sucked. Tom Ford's Vanilla Fatale sucked. Very disappointing year, but great opportunities to build a fragrance collection. Great opportunities to have those prices cut down to where they're not as in demand.